Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Print is Back podcast. We are in a new episode, and I think it'll be an interesting one because we will be talking about the AI changes coming into our printing industry. And of course, today I am joined by Andreas Weber. Andreas, how are you today?
I'm absolutely fine, so to say, fantastic. And I'm very happy to see you, Jacques. You are in a good mood, even you have a lot of work actually to do, right?
I try to be always in a good mood, but yeah, it's very interesting times for that matter, because yeah, as I said, we're going to talk about where is AI and what is the importance of AI, how you, me, and people in the industry are perceiving it at this point in time, because it's going so quickly. And maybe for also for a lot of viewers and listeners, sometimes it's a bit hard to follow where things are going. And that's maybe a good point for us to explain a little bit what we hear and what we've seen in the last couple of weeks and months.
Last time we talked, end of April, you joined your experience with that great conference in Ghent in Belgium, organized by the local printing association and called BOPI, Benelux Online Print
Event.
Event. The result of our conversation a couple of weeks ago was that we created a manifesto. And the manifesto was very well received by our audience, and it's called Print Redefined. We got good feedback from around the globe. And the best one, it came from one of the top guys, the top brains at Simpress, Bernhard Heiligtag. And he said, I totally agree to what you are sharing and telling us, but please avoid any comment like print is dead. No, print is not dead. So that means there's a need for forward looking thinking. And therefore, I think you made an investigation in the meantime, in the last couple of weeks, and you figure out something very interesting things you want to join with us, right?
Well, yes. Basically, you were referring to the BOPI, the Benelux Online Print Event. Well, there are many events running in the world talking about AI in the print business. But yeah, for that matter, in BOPI, it was 180 people that were in the room. And there was certainly this time, it wasn't just a marketing slogan, you know. This time there was really a sense of urgency that came across. But just to give you a quick update on that, you know, big names of the industry were there. So there was a keynote from Bernd Zipper from ZipCon. He comes from Germany, as you know. And then there was also one of my invites because I ran a couple of talks. We called it the Future Print Talks, and I spoke to Ludovic Martin, who is actually a French consultant and a specialist in the matter of organizational and AI in print. And a third guy that was also there, which was hugely interesting, was Leon Milau. He is a guy from Switzerland, from St. Gallen. And he had the closing keynote where, well, I'll come to a bit later on. So all of those echoes, and we also had a couple of real world people that came talk about also in my sessions, people with businesses who not particularly are from the printing industry. In particular, that was a carpet manufacturer, a big industrial carpet manufacturer in Belgium, who is deploying personalized carpet printing also because he sees his business, let's say, called like traditional. They see it's also changing, declining in some markets. So they need new opportunities, and personalized print is one of them, just to give you an idea. So, but the main topic I think I wanted to address here, because I think for many, maybe, I don't know if you know this, but there are basically two different types of AI that are being deployed as we speak in the printing industry. And I think it's very important to highlight that. So there is artificial intelligence deployment within the operations within a print shop to automate more, to create chatbots internally for staff and to customers and so forth. But that's internally operational. The thing that really stuck out for me in that event, and also what is being advocated by Bernd Zipper and the people, the nice people from the IOP, the Initiative Online Print.
Yeah.
It's based in Germany. Basically,
A group
they
of,
are
of a
advocating
group of
for the
leading print service providers.
yes, exactly. But they have grouped. They took on board several other, like Intergraph, like
Yeah.
the European Association for Print is involved. VIGC also that ran the BOP,
Yeah.
like it's the Flemish Innovation Center for Graphic Communication.
Yeah.
I have the opportunity to be on their board as well, so that's why I'm also very interested in the developments. But basically, what they were addressing also at the event was the fact you have the operational AIs that being deployed, but the very main important topic is also that you need to have an external connection with the AI. So that means there is an AI agent from the customer side that will be in the near future. It's going very quickly that the AI agent from the customer will be talking to the AI agent from the printing company. And so that's takes the whole infrastructure to the front of the line, because everything from there on, if you are not able to talk to that AI agent from your customer at some point, then you will not even be called upon for a quotation, or you won't be visible to the new way of print buying, basically. So that was the main topic of that we wanted to bring across in the different conversations that Bernd Zipper brought, Ludovic brought, Leon brought. So we will probably get into it a little bit more afterwards, because for the sake of hopefully trying to visualize, to get this message across, I've tried also to make a special app just to show people what the idea behind it would be if everything is put in place and everything works. Because and then there is something that has been launched in January by Google. It's the UCP, they call it, the Universal Commerce Protocol. That's not only dedicated to the printing industry, of course, because there isn't a UCP for print yet. That's what the IOP, the people from Initiative Online Print and others are working on, to create also that universal protocol to be able that the agentic agents from the customer side will be able to talk about the agentic agents from the production side, from the businesses. So, and that is a big difference. And it's something that is today not yet developed. And that's why they're doing it. But it's very important to understand the differences, what that could bring, depending on the timeline when this will come into play. And it's that particular point that I'm trying to make, that people have to be aware of what might be coming in the next 12 months to 2 years, of how print buying will be done online if you're not connected with an API from your side.
Okay. For me, that sounds a little bit like is not the enemy of print. AI is the enabler for redefining print and to enhance, to strengthen business opportunities and to offer new possibilities for print shop owners. But as you said, there are some steps to do to become part of the game. So, it's like 35 years ago when we had the desktop publishing revolution, all service providers and also their technical solution providers were not able to run PostScript disappeared from the market. So all of a sudden, we had PostScript as a universal printer language to handle the front end data to get it printed. And if you were not able to create PostScript files and later on PDF, you were out of the business. Is that similar development?
Yes, yes, you make a good point. I mean, you could compare it in the fact that if the language that had to be used to get to some point, PostScript or PDF or whatever, you needed that specific uniformed language. If you could not do that, it's the same thing if you're using like in Industry 4.0, it's a big part as well of the whole equation. But that's again internally into the production side. If that specific language that you were referring to, PostScript, PDFs, and others, it's now standard, and it's a protocol where everybody uses it in the print industry to communicate and to steer some devices and other things. Here, it's the exact same thing. But again, what I wanted to make clear is that from the side externally, not inside of the production facility, you have to be able to talk or to have your product catalog, for example. Everybody who is into online print or even print shops, they all have they think, oh, we need to have a beautiful website with all our different products cataloged and with the pricing. And they have dynamic pricing models they use in Excel or in your MIS systems and so forth. It's all very nice, but that means that the customer already made a choice beforehand by searching the internet, browsing the web, uh, knowing you, coming onto your website, and then searching manually for what type of product he might click or he will select, and then basically it takes some time. What we're talking about here is all of that could, it's not yet happening, but it's coming. So all of that could be the past, because when the agentic AI assistant from the customer, and I will play that little demo that I tried to make to visualize it better. If the customer from his side, it's the same as you go onto the web now and you want to go to booking.com or other things. We'll talk about that later. There is also already a whole AI chain that runs, and he basically picks the best suited hotels or rooms or whatever you want for you. So this will happen also if
And
you
also
run.
they compare different offers and you can filter and what is important for you, the best price or the best quality, the best recommendations. And that means, and I'm sure most of our audience, the majority of our audience has already that experience as a private consumer because we use
Yes.
platforms like booking.com and others. Yeah. And it's working well. And also, I know some platforms where you can also hire digital agents, and they track day and night special needs you join with that system. And if you say, I want a blue jacket in that size from that comfort, the best price, there are already intelligent agents who run for me around in the digital world, hunting for the best offers and then telling me what are the choices, right? And we will have the same
Yes.
with print. That's amazing. That's
Yes.
amazing.
That's absolutely right. And remember, up until now, most of us don't yet use a personal AI assistant as consumers, but that will change very quickly as well. Everybody is trying to use AI, so there will be very quickly be apps or on your device, depending on what devices, that will help you, but you will have a personal AI assistant.
Yeah.
And when that happens, and then we come back to what you just said before for, okay, and then we get propositions for what room, but then it's still you going into looking what you want, and then in the end you click the one that you think is the best fit. and that's the one you book, or that's the product you buy. What will change in the course of time? It won't be that long. It's your personal assistant, AI assistant. He will know what you want because he will know your profile exactly in your own personal assistant application. So he will know you better than yourself or than your wife knows you, because through all of the, let's say, the conversations, everything that you put into your personal assistant, well, he already knows that you want, for example, only a 5-star hotel by the sea, etc., etc., etc. So, and that is basically what makes a bit of the difference. Of course, there will be steps that you can tell your AI, since you have to pause here and don't go buy everything with one. Okay, go and find me the best one and book it. That will be the ultimate outcome, and that will also be basically the process for print at some point. I need 500 business cards by Friday, but he already knows, probably because you have this and that other documents that you uploaded in your assistant. So he knows exactly what you need, or you have already, let's say, the design or something. You already have that works. And then it just talks to other agents in the space, and he will find the best suited provider or printer for your different needs and your different, let's say, filters that you have in your profile. And he will then propose particular printed product to you. And if you even go as far as, okay, I trust it, and you can buy it online because, for example, it's a reprint, so you know exactly what you're getting. But you then just say, hey, assistant, buy me 500 more business cards. That's it. You don't go anywhere. It goes, it finds the printer it worked with, or with another printer who can do the same. And that's it. You don't go onto a website anymore. You don't do anything. You just say, get me 500 more business cards by Friday. And I will show that a little bit in that demo, but that's a big difference.
Yeah. I think we have something like in between since a couple of years, and they call it predictive marketing. And the term is quite interesting because that means those companies like Amazon, who are offering a huge range of products, if you are a customer and if you agree, they track your consumer behavior, and then you get that information via email or app. You just bought a new fridge. Maybe you need also a new oven and whatever for the kitchen. And this is what we call predictive marketing. That means your business partner knows already your needs, your behavior, and has a good knowledge of what you could need. So it's a speculation, and it makes and this is now what you are telling is much more concrete than predictive marketing. It's more or less something like a precision marketing approach, because it's in real time. And there is no conversation needed because your needs are directly linked to the best offer. Isn't that what it's all about? And it's in real
Yeah,
time.
it's in real time.
The whole
It's in real
process is
time.
in real time, not the delivery, because you still need some time to get things produced. Yeah, but the whole
Absolutely.
the whole process is real time, and that's the new dimension for me. Yeah,
I think so, yes. But of course, let's be clear. At this point in time, it's not yet to that extent. So that's the future, the near future that we're looking on, that we're expecting that it will happen, because the first steps, and that is something that at the BOPI event really came across, and then Bernard Zipper, well, all the specialists and the consultants said it, and that's why also those 180 people in the room, they were ITers, they were printers, they were salespeople. So there really was a sense of urgency that was brought across, because all of a sudden it hit everybody that at this point in time, if a business or printing business is not queryable as they call it. You send a query. So the agent will send a query with an API to search for something. If you as a business are not queryable from the outside, well, then you have a problem and that's not a technology problem, it's a strategic problem
Yeah.
because it's a strategic decision that a company has to make. Do they want to be part of that game? Yes or no? And let's say the consensus at the event with the specialists and all the people was, well, it is moving very fast. It's not there yet. It doesn't exist yet for print. It does exist for other businesses, especially in the USA. But there again, that's another point of interest that also came up. In the US, it's it's not totally different, but it's different because there is another type of legislation than in Europe. And that is also something that the fine people from the IOP stressed in their conversations they bring out in public. It's that at this point in time, that specific European legislation, who was always been perceived as a pain in the butt, and it holds us back as a printing industry. For the first time, maybe again, since many years, this brings opportunity because if you have to prepare for all of that European legislation regarding the Green Deal, being sustainable, you have to be proven to be in line with packaging regulations and so forth and so forth. So there's a whole list of European regulations that print businesses will have to comply to. Otherwise, they won't be able to sell their product anymore to a customer or consumer. And here lies for Europe, we think, a great opportunity, because if you have to prepare anyway for those legislations, then you have to adapt your processes as well, because you have to be able to prove that you're sustainable, etc., etc., etc. I won't go too much into the details of the technical details, but in the US, that doesn't really exist. So if businesses now will prepare to arrange their, let's say, product catalogs and everything and their internal data, because that is the bottom line. That also came from all of the conclusions from Bernd Zipper, from Leon, and from Ludovic. The preparation of the data, of your business data, to be queryable by the customer, not the customer, the agentic agent that the customer is using and who is talking API, blah, blah, you be for print, then you should talk the same language. Otherwise, your proposition of your business won't go to that agent, and that agent won't be able to read your proposition. And in case of that it fits, it's the best fit, then you don't get the sale or the deal. And that's maybe also another thing that also came from the BOPE. It becomes a trust game. So the trust, like we know it from before when it was word of mouth. He said, "Oh, I know a good printer. I mean, you can sleep on both of your ears. He's the best, and you won't have any problems." It's a matter of trust. Well, that same trust will be translated in data that also refers back to the fact that you comply with that whole EU regulations, which gives you a certain trustworthiness, a certain quotation. And on the other hand, think about the 5 stars you give a product or something if you buy something. This will also add to the trustworthiness of your agentic proposition. I would call it like that.
Actually, we have a good example what is happening in the first step, because actually in Düsseldorf, they are running Interpack, the world's biggest trade show for the packaging world. And in August, they have a new situation because all these European new regularities will get on air. And so the whole packaging industry has to change everything they are doing to be this trusted partner. Big part of packaging is also to work for fast moving consumer goods. So therefore you have certain standards. Now they have European-wide system and a legacy system, which makes sure that your service is proper. This is interesting, yeah. So I think we can learn from that, and during all the big players at Interpack have to deal with that and have also to take care that their solutions are really good enough for customers right after August 2026. And this will be the same with the rest of the print world when I got it right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
great. I said when we started, I feel fantastic. Now I feel much more fantastic because I see that our print is back approach works very well. And also our manifesto idea, Redefined Print, is also working very well. And maybe we can add something. I just got an idea. Why not changing our perspective? Because the whole print world is dealing with the question how AI influences print. And why not do a flip flop, so
A
to say,
flip flop.
a flip flop, just to change the perspective. And we start an ideas competition. How does print influence the digital world of AI? Because at the same time we are talking, we got more and more insights from OMR. It's the biggest digital marketing conference in Europe. It was happening last week in Hamburg. And they also had those topics you were talking about and some more. And, a big message was that all those people from the digital side, they really love and need print. But they are not aware, they know print as a medium because there are a lot of people who are running blogs and then they are in heaven when they get their digital content printed in a good book. So the book is the number one medium at this conference, OMR, joined by 55,000 people from all over Europe, which is really a great event. And so this people, they love print, but they have no idea how modern print services could support what they do in a much better way than they expect. And therefore, how does print influence the digital world of AI is for me a major topic. What do you think? Is that a good idea?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Maybe people or listeners or viewers, they can also get in touch in the comments below. Yeah, I think it's a great topic.
Yeah, and we are accessible because we have also this Print is Back page on LinkedIn, so people can subscribe to it and share their ideas, or send us private direct messages via LinkedIn. That would be a great
Mhm.
pleasure, and maybe we can summarize. If we got some feedback, we can summarize it, and also maybe let's pick up the most crazy 3 ideas, and then we talk about this guys who shared their ideas. We can run other podcast conversations just because I
Fantastic.
think this is now the start of something.
Mhm.
So we have a special momentum in the industry right now.
I think yeah, this is your call to action. Then when we put it up online on the podcast, we will make a call to action to everybody who has a good idea to share it. But I think it's also, like I said when we started, it's time, I think, that we also show our viewers a bit what I was talking about with that agentic, let's say, approach to print buying. And for that matter, you asked me before, I tried to create a minimal viable demo
Yeah,
to make it a bit more visible. And yeah, I would like to present it to you just and have your opinion on it.
yeah,
If you see what we mean with this type of approach of future print buying from the customer side. One last thing I would like to say: people shouldn't panic. straight away. It's our goal to have people think about and think strategically. Is this something for me? Is it not yet for me? Or what should I think of getting ready? Just to put everything into perspective before I show you what I came up with, is to tell the people that even the universal, that UCP protocol, the Universal Commerce Protocol that Google launched, that was only done just in January of this year, right? So it's very fresh, but it's going at light speeds. That doesn't mean that it will be there tomorrow disrupting everything, but you can feel, anyways, I think you can. So you can feel that disruption is in the air, and that you should probably look at it and decide for your own business if you need to be able to comply with, to be queryable for that new way of print buying. That said, I will just run that little application. It's a demo application, but everything inside it has been checked on agentic possibilities. And I will just share the screen of this app. I don't know if you can see the screen. You can see it. So basically what it is, it could be something like you have open on your phone. You can see it here. Again, I'm just emphasizing on the fact it's only for demonstration purposes, right? So to make it easy, I have here like 4 presets that I preloaded. Let's say, okay, you could also speak to your agent, saying, okay, I want 5,000 flyers by Friday or something. Of course, your agent at that point will already know more or less what you want, or in what type of design that you have at hand that you will be using to send out to the selected printer. So, but in this case, let's say I will want 3,000 flyers, and I want it delivered by Friday. So if you then run your local agents, you run it. I will open this, but I will show you later. So what does it do? Sorry. So it does the different steps all by itself, because it is an agentic agent. It can work on its own. It's not just like a chat bot that you use, but you send a prompt, you get the answer back. No, the agentic part is, of course, the part that the artificial intelligence can make decisions on its own, send out to the web, get answers back, and then present you the solution or the result, or even place the order. So what actually happened? I want the 3,000 flyers. Okay, 3,000 flyers, he says, on this. Okay. Then he puts actually a query. He puts the question out to his fellow agentic agents that are connected from print shops. Yeah? Of course, this is the gap that is not existing yet. And he pulls several quotes. But the AI agent knows, okay, within my profile that he knows from me, that's what I want, and that's the best quote for what you want as a customer. And I wanted it to be available before Friday. It'll ship on Wednesday, right? And you can see, okay, a little bit here. Again, it's just demo purposes. It's in pounds. It could be anything you want, of course. And in this case, we ordered 3,000, which here we get a 15% volume discount, and so forth. So you get a quotation, which for you is the best, for your agent, is the best possible solution. Depending on how you set it up, as I said, if we order or reorder 500 business cards, he already knows what it is and what you will get, and you know what you will get. So in that case, you don't need to you could, if you want the system or your agent to pause and ask you the question, is this okay? Do you want to to order or not. But once this becomes like mainstream and perfected, then at some point there won't be that necessity for certain products that it has to stop and come and ask you again. So this is what is happening here. This is basically what happens within the production side on the agent side. So as the same as you order any product online, you get, for the logistics anyway, you get like a message, okay, we have sent your product, it's out of the door, and blah blah blah. That is what is called a web hook, right? The system sends a signal to your agent that then informs you, or within the system, that all the different processes have been done. And of course, this is the log and the logging of what is going on within the agent. So I'll start it again just to show you. So I'll go to the 5,000 flyers again. I'll leave it like this. I run the agent. So we know that you will get the quotation. And then you can see all by itself, the order was accepted. He's communicating with the agent from the producing side. The order is accepted. The pre-press is being processing and accepted. Plate making, on press, finishing cutting, quality check, dispatched. Of course, not all at once, but in the time frame that they promise you. But this is actually the agentic process that is running from your side. You said, I want the flyers. Your agent communicates with the selected partner that he trusts, right? And from there on, he places the order because it's all within the boundaries and what was set. The production side agent is communicating back to the client agent. It's all in the background. You as a human, as a user, you don't know that unless you want your agent to prompt all the different statuses. And these are the different statuses. This is basically the rundown of the operational progress within the print shop, right? But everything is checked, and then you get the dispatch. And of course here, then you get order is on its way, because in the end here, you get that workflow complete, webhook is fired, and in this case, your personal agent knows that you will get the product because it's dispatched, and then it goes into the logistics system like we know it. You get by DHL or whatever, who the selected partner is. You then get also the information on when your package or when your product will arrive. That is basically what can happen, and that will happen in the future as a demo. I'll just show you one more, and that is, for example, here. I could also go tap to speak, but for books and if it's more complicated, that will be probably a bit difficult. Here, for example, I want to order 250 books. And I know my file is 128 pages. It will be in 4:4, 17 by 24. I want it on a 90 gram uncoated, and I want it to be on a 350 grams cover. I'm not decided yet for the finishing, okay? And I want it with a standard delivery. Depending on how you set up your agent, I'll run this now, I'll run it, poof. And okay, I want 250, this size, 128 pages in 4:4, and I have a standard lead time. But then it's clever enough. How should we finish your book? He can ask. So that's those pauses that I was telling you about. You can make it whatever you want. But here I can, for example, say, okay, do you want it PUR, polyurethane glued? Do you want a sewn book or a hot melt glued? Okay, I'll go for PUR because I wanted it for this. And then for my cover lamination, do you want non, matte, or gloss? Okay, I want a matte lamination. and then you continue, click. And from there on, it's the same thing again. You get your quote, and he selects actually your partner, your printing partner, on all those different elements. And again, the most trusted, the most suited producer for your product will be selected. And depending again on if you want to have it order fully autonomously, you can do it. Of course, there can be many pauses that you can build in to have a check and so forth. But this, in short, is actually how that agentic process will run, and the buying conversation between one agent, your personal agent, and the agent of the printing company. And that will be called the UCP, the Universal Commerce Protocol for print. But it's being developed as we speak, and I find this very, very interesting, and I'm excited about it. But you can also see that it might be very, very uncomfortable for many people, because most or many of us are not ready for this, because all our data is not structured in a way that it will be queryable by that API. So I hope it makes sense, Andres. What is your
Absolutely.
idea
It's
on?
smart. It's so smart in that sense. And for sure, I think it's the best convenience you can get. So it's so easy to use, and as you said before, we know from using services like booking.com how high the standard is for the best convenience. We know it, and now it could become part also of any print business. And I think a lot of people will have questions. So that's what I meant by saying it's the beginning of something, because one aspect for me is always, are we able to have a very solid, trustable technical solution? I'm sure we will get it. So when it has to be compatible with the Google Word. So the Google Word function, you can hate it, you can love it, but it's working absolutely well, also on the highest standard. And if they partner with something, it has also to work absolutely correct. So, and then it's up to the print service providers to rethink their business approach. And I'm sure we had a podcast with him, like Frank Siegel from Mobility. He will be happy to hear that, because he is one of those partners to help automate and digitize print shops. And this is the first step. You digitize your business approach, and not only your production facilities, your whole business you have to digitize. Then that's the first step to be part of the game. And so there's also
Yeah.
a lot to do, and therefore it's quite good if this agentic print commerce scenario takes a little while to be ready. So in the meantime, there's for the industry, for the print shop world, is a lot to do. But I'm so happy that we have that perspective, because that was I'm missing. So what?
Yeah, I think this is the main difference, and I'll stop on that topic for now, because we could go on for hours. But I think this is the big differentiator. We're not really only talking about technical solutions or IT solutions. Of course, the AI is, you have to have IT knowledge, of course, to implement. But I think it's a big strategic decision to make the leap. To make the leap,
Yeah.
to decide that you are going in on this adventure. Those who don't go in on that adventure, I think, and not only I think that, but I'm going to quote Leon Melo, guy from Switzerland. He's a very knowledgeable consultant in that area. He at the BOPE literally said the website is losing its role as the central channel. So this will be the reality not so far from now. Also, Ludovic Martin said it. Bernd Zipper is saying it. The guys from the IOP are saying it, and they're working on it to try to develop that universal print language that we all will need to have a general language that we can agree on. So once that is in place, again, keeping in mind the EU regulations that will have to be included in those protocols as well, and that, I think you are right, Andreas. That gives us a certain amount of time still to keep or to be within the game, to be able to play the game. Whilst in the US, it's already taking form, but we here in Europe anyway, I think this is a huge opportunity. And I think this was a podcast, like you said, to yeah, to entice people to think about what is coming, to understand what is coming. If you don't understand it, listen to a podcast or get informed on what it means for the business.
And how does print because we step into a world nobody has experienced before. So everybody has to learn, everybody can win, and also everybody can lose. That's part of the business, and I love that.
Yeah.
What you're talking about, this agentic AI and integrated to the world of print, it's changing the game. Even if that is a buzzword, yeah. So it's a game changer, but it's really changing the game because we
Yeah.
never had so many opportunities before. Because printer who is shifting from letterpress to offset, from offset to inkjet, is still doing more or less the same he did in the past with new tools. And now the whole business approach is different, and it's much more integratable, if that word exists, integratable into the digital world. Because without that, print is still a silo. And now we bust the silos, and that's the difference in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. And that's why I said it's not the technology; it's a strategic approach
Yeah.
to where you want to go. So perfect,
Cool.
Andreas. Great insights. I really liked it, and as you can tell, I'm fairly enthusiastic, and I try to be on the forefront of as an observer what is happening in that print agentic space, and I will be following it up, and hopefully we can share again some of the news in that area as well in the next episode. So, but also for everybody watching, remind the call to action that Andreas was referring to. Please share and comment on ideas, and yeah, he might pick it up and dedicate a conversation or a podcast as well to those topics. That would be great. So for now, Andreas, thank you very much, and yeah, we will surely see each other very soon, as this is is continuously evolving at very rapid speeds. So there will be surely a lot to discuss in the near future again. So for now, guys, thank you very much. Andreas, thank you.
Thank you very much, Jacques. It was a great inspiration talking to you, as always.
Alrighty.
Bye
Perfect.
bye.
Well, thank you, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Cheers.